What makes tap to tag different than the other NFC or QR based, QR code solutions that are out there? I know that at the forefront is security and privacy, but why don't you give the audience a little insight into that?
Well, particularly with medical, we are very conscious of the different geographic requirements for holding anything relating to medical data, even though what we've done is basically provided a repository for customers to keep their own information within their account. But we have always been leaping ahead. So anybody that has any medical information which relates to them being a Canadian citizen, that sits specifically on Canadian servers. Anything to do with the US sits on US servers, and anything to do with the UK sits on a UK server. And those are, particularly in North America, HIPAA requirements, and they are certainly part of the digital NHS requirements in the UK. Nobody
And
else does that.
GDPR, of course.
GDPR, yeah, absolutely. GDPR is very prevalent in everybody's mind now. Data links all over the place. That's one of the things we've done with the new system, is absolutely ramped up all security on the site. So everything has two-factor authentication now, and access is limited to only those that can see it and are authorized to see that information.
So how do you decide what features to develop next? Apart from what I'm nagging you about, of course. Where do we decide? How do we decide, this is something that everyone should have?
I think initially it's from previous experience. Don't forget, we've been doing this for a long time, and we get asked sometimes silly questions about, and can it do this, and can it do that?
Every day.
But I don't think people are understanding what it can do and why it is already 3 steps ahead of anything else. The next steps really are, I think the medical platform is really robust now, and we have developed things like organizational accounts which allow people like in schools or businesses to maintain the medical information of their employees, but in a controlled manner where the employee chooses what they share with the employer. Or it could be, imagine a room full of school children where you've got a child who falls ill in that classroom. Part of the problem with that is, how does that teacher know exactly what the medical condition is of that child?
Right.
Teachers will argue, well, I know all my children, that's fine. However, if you've got a temp teacher in, or there's a change in medication, then those medical forms are completed at the beginning of the year. They're kept in the secretary's office, and if there's a medical problem, then somebody has to go running down to that office. If a child had a key fob, and we've seen that many times with our customers, they give it to their children, they make the schools aware of it, then that information can be shared quite readily.
Right. So then, is that our ideal customer? Who is the ideal tap to tag customer?
And this kind of leads on to something else I want to talk about, but anybody with a medical condition should have one of these devices. It provides virtually instant access to a patient's medical profile in the event of an emergency. Accessing that information by paramedics, the quicker they can get that, the better. And the stories I get back from customers, I know you've had the same instances over there.
Absolutely.
Keith is blessed to be living in Canada at the moment. I'm here in sunny Bristol in the UK, but the stories are uniform across all countries. So the benefit I see is that giving first responders that important information so quickly saves lives, and we know it saves lives. The other aspect is that it's anybody that has a medical condition, whether it's epilepsy or diabetes or their post-operative care, they all will need to be able to display that information at the most inappropriate and terrifying time for them. At least they know that information is covered.